Live at noon, this is 13 News Now.
Well, hurricane season came to a peak just a week ago, and now 3 separate storms are brewing in the Atlantic. Good afternoon, I'm Andre Sr. Lucy has the afternoon off. Within the last hour, the National Hurricane Center kept Jose at a tropical storm, but it is expected to strengthen, tracking closer to the East Coast. So Tim is tracking the tropics before your weekend. We could see some effects from the storm here as early as Monday, Tim.
Yeah, more so indirectly in terms of rough surf, rip tides, rip currents, and also the tidal flooding could become an issue as we get in towards early next week. All right, let's go to the satellite imagery now. 3 separate areas, only one currently named, and that is Jose. Still a tropical storm at this hour, but we do have a tropical depression, number 14. This means the wind field is circular, just not strong enough just yet to become a tropical storm. It will likely strengthen enough to get that name of Lee within the next 24 hours or so as it moves off towards the west-northwest. We have a separate area of concern here. This is even below a tropical depression. It's called Tropical Wave Invest 96L. That's just to indicate that we are investigating it. Well, the Weather Service is, and that's indicating that it will strengthen to possibly a hurricane and become the name Maria in the next 24 to 48 hours. In fact, there's about a 90% chance of getting that name within the next 5 days. Here's the latest on Jose, closest storm to the United States, a tropical storm right now, completed its clockwise loop and is forecast to strengthen back to hurricane strength at Category 1 with winds of 75 miles or greater as we go into the next couple of days and then track northwards. Again, that cone of uncertainty does encompass parts of the northeast coastline just off the coast of Virginia and North Carolina, but it will affect us. We'll talk about those threats coming up this upcoming weekend in just a few minutes in your full forecast. Andre?
All right, Tim, thank you. Well, to breaking news now, a heartbreaking story in Norfolk. Police confirm someone shot a woman and 9-year-old girl yesterday in Young Terrace. This is the second young girl to be shot in that neighborhood this year. A witness posted a video online saying the woman was the young girl's daughter, but we are working to confirm that right now with police. We now go live to Allie Weatherton. And Allie, what is the latest on this very tragic case?
Well, Andre, I've been out here for about 2 hours talking to neighbors and people who live in this area. Now, they tell me a woman and her daughter were on this porch right behind me where they were just relaxing, hanging out. The daughter was playing when they were hit by stray bullets. Now, they say both of those, the child and the mother, are expected to be okay. Now, I want to take you to some of this video that was on Facebook. It was recorded by someone who was at the scene last night. Now, police say this happened Thursday right before 5 on Whitaker Lane. Police say the 29-year-old woman and the 9-year-old were outside when they were hit by those stray bullets. Now, both victims were taken to a local hospital, and like I said, neighbors say they talked to the woman, and the daughter, the 9-year-old daughter, is expected to come home today. Now, if you know anything about this incident, you're asked to call the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Live in Norfolk, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
All right, Allie, thank you so much for that update. We'll check in with you later on starting at 4. More breaking news now. The University of Virginia has a new president, the man you see there on your screens. The school board, of visitors unanimously selected James E. Ryan. He had been serving as dean of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. He is UVA's 9th president. Ryan takes over for Teresa Sullivan, who announced that she was stepping down back in January. To London now. A manhunt is underway following an apparent terror attack. It's the 6th in Britain this year. Today's attack happening on a subway train during morning rush hour. It injured at least 22 people. Fortunately, police say those injuries are not life-threatening. ABC reporter Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
Terror on a London subway train.
It's kind of frightening and scary. I mean, right now, I just can't believe it.
Creating chaos and confusion as commuters ran for cover.
Very frightening, I guess, and a bit confusing.
Eyewitnesses reporting some people even trampled trying to get away from an apparent explosion.
It's like a fireball or a fire blast. They just went up quickly, and then as soon as it went up, people left.
Lucky at the fact that the train was stationary and the door was open.
It was just after 8 a.m. in London at the Parsons Green tube station. Authorities saying this bucket with what looks like wires coming out burst into flames. Investigators now revealing the improvised explosive device did not explode fully.
I would emphasise that Londoners particularly can expect to see an enhanced police presence.
ABC News also learning the device was hooked up to a timing device. So investigators are calling this a terror attack. But at this time, they do not believe this was the work of a suicide bomber. And with the search for the suspect or suspects intensifying, British Prime Minister Theresa May is urging the public to remain vigilant.
The threat of terrorism that we face is severe, but together, by working together, we will defeat them.
And this morning, President Trump had this reaction from the White House.
We have to be very smart. We have to be very, very tough.
Now, earlier in a series of tweets, President Trump called the attacker a loser and even implied the suspects were known to London officials, to which the British Prime Minister responded, "It is never helpful for anyone to speculate on an ongoing investigation." Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, new at noon, a man is stabbed in Newport News, and this afternoon he is fighting to stay alive. Police say they think someone tried to rob him along the waterfront at 6th Street and Ivy Avenue. Authorities originally did not think the stab wound was life-threatening, but after they got that man to the hospital, they found out it was much more serious. New information now in that explosion at Fort Bragg yesterday. Fort Bragg officials confirmed Staff Sergeant Alexander Dahlia from Massachusetts died. Now, the blast hurt 7 other soldiers as well. This is the 3rd military training accident this week. A fire at Camp Pendleton in California hurt 14 Marines and a sailor. A soldier died at Fort Hood in Texas during a medevac exercise. All in all, across the country now, 2 soldiers died and 21 were hurt in training exercises this week.